Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I absolutely suck at Bloxiq. God, you have no idea. So I'm just gonna hop straight into the game, and coming up immediately is one of my biggest problems with the game, because of just the way they seem to have designed it. So the idea is that you've got several worlds, and to access the next world, you have to complete every previous level. But the worst thing about that is that they don't even give you access to levels in the same world that you've already unlocked. So you have to beat every level in a line, otherwise you can't progress. Can't beat one level? Well, tough shit. Because you're not going any further if you can't beat one level, which is pretty much the exact situation I'm in right now. I don't know why I loaded this level up, because I can't do it, so I'm just going to hit exit. I'll start from World 2-1, and we'll just move forward as the game permits. But as soon as I get to 2-7, it's basically going to be the end of the video. So, the idea with Bloxiq, when the game decides it wants to load, the idea with Bloxiq is that you have to match all the colours. To match all the colours, you need to move the interior and exterior layers of this cube. So to move the camera around, you can either use the left or right analog sticks, or you can just tap and drag with the touchscreens, your choice. To interact with the world, you have to hold the R button, or the L button, depending on which you prefer, and drag the cubes. And this drags the cubes around in a Rubik's Cube-like fashion, and you just keep going until you get all the cubes together. Alright, there's a cube on the inside there, so we can actually look at the inside of the cube and modify the inside of the cube by doing that. Just missed something there, and if we let that go there you go. You can also cancel moves if you press circle. However, if you do match something, well, you're kind of screwed there, which is kind of annoying. I would like it better if you were capable of, like, saying, alright, are you sure you want to do this move? But I imagine that would get more annoying as time goes on, but, baby steps. So the idea is you just got to match all the cubes. And if you want to, like, chain cubes down to the inner layer, the idea is that you need to put cubes in such a way that some will fall towards the middle layer. And that can get really, really annoying, because that's the puzzle I'm stuck on. But let's just see if I can get a couple more puzzles done first, so it doesn't feel like this video was a complete waste of your time. Takes a relatively long time to figure out how. It's just all the cubes can move with you in really annoying ways, and it takes a long time to figure out just how careful you need to be with how everything moves. Because you might end up moving something else in the process of trying to move one cube, and then it's like, oh god damn it, what have I done now? Where do I move the next cube? Thankfully, in a level like this, there's no restrictions so far. There are levels that do indeed have restrictions, and we will be seeing them as time goes on. Come on, you. Sometimes the controls are a bit weird as well, because I think they're too oversensitive for their own good, because sometimes you'll try and move something and it'll just refuse to move, and then you'll do it again and it'll move. Like you've made some sort of microscopic accidental movement, and you'll need to... You've made some sort of accidental microscopic movement, and it'll be like, oh no, now you have to let go and do something else, otherwise we'll still think you're moving on this particular line. It's kind of annoying how sensitive it can be. I can understand that, but at the same time, that doesn't stop it from being annoying. So, that's one level down. We'll just move on to the next one when the game's done auto-saving. Most of the time it works, but when you're playing a timed level, speed is of the essence, and it's kind of annoying having to redo your move a few times. So this is one of the puzzles that the game can show you off with. You need to match 4 cubes. However, in the case of this game, matching 4 cubes can be a massive pain in the ass at times, because if you can match 4 cubes and then there'll be one left and you can't match anymore, which is a massive pain. So you have to figure out what you need to do to match all of them without accidentally matching them in the first place, which might be a pain in the ass for some people, not that big of a deal. So the idea is that we have to create 3 chains. So we have to look around, we have to try and figure out exactly where we can modify this puzzle so that the chains are caused. So my guess is that we do this, and everything else will match on top of it. And there we go, we made a few chains. I will keep going, just to show more of the game. There are things that show up eventually, like cubes start locking and there's timed puzzles and stuff like that. But I haven't gotten to any of those yet because, again, I'm so stupid I can't even get past the second world. There's no... What's the word I'm looking for? There's nothing like, there's no endless mode as far as I can tell. Like, no mode that swaps new cubes in as time goes on or something like that, which is kind of disappointing. You would think a game like this would have that sort of mode. So I just accidentally let go there for a quarter of a second, and yeah, it just kind of screws up on you at times, which can really suck. So I just need to figure out a way to get these 5 cubes touching without actually touching 4 of them together at the same time. This is actually a pretty simple puzzle, but this is me we're talking about. The simple isn't always easy with me. There we go. Now I go for 5 cubes, and that's the level cleared. Now, yeah, again, there's just more stuff to it eventually. But yeah, no endless mode, which is a little bit of a disappointment, because you think this game would do pretty well with an endless mode. Alright, so we have 8 cubes, and we need to match them all together. I hate puzzles like this. Let's see. Oh, well, there's 8 cubes, so I imagine I could match 4 of them together okay, and then just match the other 4. Or I could just match all 8 at once by complete accident. Takes a lot of figuring out what your moves are going to do in this game, and I'm not that big of a fan of that. It's a shame. This engine would make a really good Picross 3D engine. The backdrops are lovely. And it runs at a smooth frame rate, like, constantly, so it's nowhere near a poorly programmed game, or at least in the technical side of things. Alright, so here comes World 2 Level 7, the one I cannot get past for the life of me. Oh man, I've been stuck on this puzzle for over an hour. It's quite literally the most infuriating thing I've played this week. So the idea is we have to create 2 chains, which means we have to make it so that 2 things fall and match with each other. Problem being, these asshole black cubes are in the way, which you can't match through. So you have to figure out a way to work around all of these things. So you have to figure out a way to get these blue cubes in such a way that you'll be able to match all of them together at once, without activating any other cubes. And then you have to figure out a way to chain everything so that it all falls down on top, and it's absolutely infuriating. And I've been stuck here for an hour, I swear to Christ, it is this freaking difficult. I have not been able to figure out this puzzle. And to think, after all the other puzzles were so fairly easy, you would think the solution to this one would be obvious, wouldn't you? Well, I haven't been able to figure it out. I'm probably not this game's intended audience, judging by the fact that I've been stuck on this one puzzle for a goddamn hour at this point. I can't figure it out. I have not been able to figure this one out, and it's driving me insane. Down, no, that's not the way. It's down here, then down here, then down here again. Yeah, match that, then gravity falls in, and yeah, see? So you have to figure out a way to get the chains working, while at the same time getting those bloody black cubes out of the way. I just haven't been able to do it. For the life of me, I have not been able to figure out this puzzle, and I've been stuck here for an hour. And it's that sort of puzzle game failure state where you're constantly screwing up for no reason that you can possibly tell, and you end up doing the same thing over and over again because your brain's just like, well, shit, nothing else I've tried has worked. Let's just try the same thing over and over again and go bloody insane in the process. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Usually it warns you before that happens. But yeah, that was one chain. So you have to chain all 3 colors together, and I have not been able to figure this one out. It's a massive difficulty spike, that's for sure, considering the other puzzles. I wouldn't have that big of a deal, I wouldn't have that big of a problem with it, I should say, if I was able to go and play another level, but I can't, because all the other levels are locked off until you beat the level beforehand, and it's absolutely, positively infuriating. And it makes me want to choke a bitch. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but someone did, and now they've got me really, really pissed off at them. Congratulations, random person. For the life of me, I've not been able to figure this one out. It's just too hard for my small mammalian brain. I didn't even realize that was going to be a thing. Great. Have to retry the level now. Thankfully, the loading times are relatively quick, although it would be better if they were instant. Although you really, really start to notice them as time goes on, because again, I've been stuck on this puzzle for an hour, just constantly retrying it, and I've not been able to figure it out, and I'm going to choke someone. Because there's got to be a way to get these bloody cubes out of the way, but at the same time, there's no way to get them out of the way without accidentally activating something. And the gravity mechanics really work against you because of those 2 bloody unblockable bricks there that make me want to... God, I've wanted to throw my Vita out the window so many times at this point. And it's just really annoying too, because those people who might like the idea of having to match all the colours, but at the same time, why is the dog barking now? What? Those people who might like the idea of being able to, like, match all the colours together and making puzzles based off that might get stuck on these chain puzzles, and vice versa, and you can't do anything about it because you can't go on to another level. It's just... It's infuriating. It's positively infuriating. One small change could have really gotten rid of most of the absolute insanity. But for some reason they just chose to make it so that you can't go play any other levels. Wait, that counted? Alright, I have honestly no idea. Why did that work? I don't understand why that worked. Well, I just got proven wrong, didn't I? Shit. Create 1 chain. Yeah, great. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, I had to create a chain, not a multi-match. So, alright, the idea is that I think we've got to use that block to block off a multi-match. Like this? Oh, I think I know how chains work. Wow, with the name chain, you would think that's a... I'd rather call it a fall chain or something, because apparently the way chains work is that you have to... Great, I've got to check that how to play screen now, because goddamn, I'm going to be so annoyed if that was the one thing I couldn't figure out. Yeah, where's the how to play screen? It's in the settings. Chains. Created by falling cubes. Yeah, great. That's the one thing. So I'm stupid at another method. Oh man, I hate that so much. You have no idea. Well, that was a quick look at Bloxiq. Yeah. Isn't going to appeal to anyone but the puzzle game fans, but puzzle game fans will probably have a good time. Oh man, I hate that name. Why call it a chain? Can you call it a fall or something? God damn it, that's not what a chain is in most other puzzle games. This has been Blue Maxima, and I'll see you all next time.